Hey, hello, friends. It's the what is it? The fifth night of the 12 days of Mamma Miamas. I'm here with John Yabes.
Hello.
We're talking Mamma Mia and raising money for the Hawaii Food Bank. There's a link down there,
Nice.
and it's also going to be in the chat. How are you doing, John?
I'm good. I'm good. Just chilling, living life, watching Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Did you watch the whole thing? I was lucky enough to send you the link in time.
I, I did,
Okay.
and about 10 minutes into this, David, I decided I needed to take some notes.
Oh yeah, nice. Took
So
very
I
scarce notes on this one, so glad somebody did.
oh sorry I
Yeah, no,
I wrote down some. It was a mix of questions and notes, and I narrowed them down to three things.
yeah.
Um, the first thing I wrote down was why.
Okay, I might be able to help you with that. Yeah.
Um, Mostly because I thought like I thought like because I knew we were gonna watch a version of Mamma Mia,
Right.
and I was like, all
Oh,
right,
Santa hat. Yeah.
maybe like a version, like maybe the actual movie, or
Uh,
but was this a high school production?
this was a high school production
Okay,
from Summit Hill, New Jersey, which, according to one comment in the comments on YouTube, is one of the wealthiest places in New Jersey. That's why this high school production of Mamma Mia looked better than I think every other stage production of Mamma Mia I've ever seen. Just
yeah,
yeah,
like I like that's the one thing I did. I was like, this seems a little higher level than an ordinary high school production.
yeah.
But then when I started seeing the people in it, I was like, oh no, these are children. These are definitely
It's music.
children.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I did go like the YouTube page you sent me to. I did look into the
Mm.
comments,
Oh yeah.
and there was two comments, and they were both from a man named Randy Scott, and they both just say Sophia. So,
Ah,
which I understand there's a character
right.
in the play called Sophie.
Yeah, the daughter. Yeah,
Um,
it's Sophie. Yeah, Sophia was the dude's great grandma or great aunt, the
Great.
the
Oh,
Greek lady. Yeah.
oh, okay. Uh, Another thing I'll admit
Mm.
I had to do was, since these were all children,
Right.
I had to like look up the movie cast of Mamma Mia
Right, because
and
you don't know who's
understand.
supposed to be a grown up and who's supposed to be
Yeah,
a teenager. Right.
yeah, truly. And so, like I think part of me sympathized with this because I was also in high school theater, and
Oh,
I
okay.
understand like really like had some weird PTSD watching this stuff. But the second note I wrote down was
Mm.
"White people be wild." That was
Oh yeah.
that was that was I had never seen, like I know ABBA,
Right.
and I know their songs, and I knew this musical existed. I never seen it. I just
Mm.
kind of knew it existed.
Right.
But then I was watching this, and I watched the trailer for the movie, the
Okay.
actual movie, and I was like, this has to be like the personification of like white people's orgasms, right? This
Oh
is
yeah.
this is like this. I don't know. I was just like, this might be the only thing I've ever seen where, like, if you were to recast any of these people as not white people, it would be offensive as hell. I don't know. um, but besides that, I will say this: those kids are hella talented.
Yeah. No, they all
Those
did a
kids are
great
very
job. Yeah.
talented. Um, I couldn't really understand the dialogue in between the songs. I don't know, like whatever was recording the video. I guess it wasn't. They didn't have some kind of dedicated audio source for like
Uh, yeah. They
whatever.
probably have
But
it. Yeah. They
uh,
probably had the microphones like tuned down a little bit because they're probably singing pretty loud,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
weren't switching the audio back on.
But I will also give them effort for. I think some of them are trying to do like British accents. I
Oh
think.
yeah. Someone real hard on that British accent.
Yeah,
Harry
and
guy went pretty hard.
but if I were to kind of sorry if I'm railroading this entire thing.
No, no,
I
no.
just had so many thoughts and feelings after watching this thing.
Great.
I would give this like if I were to describe how this made me feel, it kind of made me feel the same way I felt when I watched Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Hmm.
You know, I was like, this isn't like it wasn't bad, it wasn't
Right.
great, it didn't offend me, and but it was okay. so
Yeah.
so
That's what more can you ask for, really?
yeah. Not that I don't want to sound like a wokest warrior and like finding things that offend me. I just you know it just kind of I just like to have that rating when I'm watching movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie. It's a fun movie. It's a fun story. It doesn't get too heavy ever. It's just people having fun mostly. Like you see it a lot in the movie when it's pretty clear that they just flew everybody to an island in Greece and they were just hanging out drinking ouzo and then like making a movie. So the
Yeah.
dancing wasn't super tight or anything. It was just like, hey, I'm just watching people genuinely are having fun on screen right now. I feel like
No, yeah, truly.
that's the vibe of the show.
And like I'll give those kids credit too. Like, they definitely had choreographed dances in it.
Yeah.
For sure. Like honestly, David, like, and this people might be like, why are you jumping to conclusions? First, I thought this was like a Mormon thing. Like, is this a Mormon production?
No.
This is just insanely like. But
the reason I know it's definitely not a Mormon production is that the like traditionally, like Sophie in every other production, she's a blonde girl. Sophie and her mom Donna, they're both blonde women, but they weren't in this one. It's the first time they were there's two brunettes because the school very few blonde girls and a lot of brunettes, which is very obvious different than it is in Utah. I feel like a lot more
truly
blonde Mormons there.
I guess that's the Jerseyness of
the
production.
So they're Jersey accents, the thick Jersey accents.
And but yeah, I had a good time. I think like I feel like of course this is a huge hit musical and whatever, and people who have bigger brains than me, concocted this thing and just knew. Because like I felt like every time the story would kind of like drag a little bit, or you're just kind of getting lost in like whatever, they would just kick right into an ABBA song.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh yeah, ABBA. Like I love ABBA. This is great,
I mean, it's a jukebox musical, so like that's the whole point, is just to figure out how to get from one ABBA song to the next one and just have just enough dialogue and story to do that. It's like one of those like late night Skinamax movies where it's like we just got to get from one sex scene to the next one. It's the same kind of thing.
It's
ABBA songs.
It's funny too because I watched I went with a friend to go watch the Jimmy Buffett musical.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And suffice it to say, we got to it was kind of the same feeling. There was it was set on an island. It was, Jimmy Buffett.
Oh yeah. Definitely his whole vibe.
Yeah, and like unlike ABBA though, Jimmy Buffett, there's like two songs, right? There's like there's Cheeseburger in Paradise, and then there's Margaritaville.
Right.
It's
all about food and drink. Yeah. Just having good times.
And I remember they sang Margaritaville right before the Act 1 intermission.
Right.
And after that, I guess to kind of leave you in suspense, there's a volcano on the island.
Oh.
And it erupts after they sing Margaritaville, and they're like, oh, and then they fade to black.
Right.
And then me and my friend were like, well, we listened to Margaritaville. I guess we could leave.
Yeah.
So we left. So all I know about Jimmy Buffett the musical is that the entire cast gets consumed by a volcano.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's that's the end of the musical.
The whole second act is just the Coast Guard showing up and putting bodies into a helicopter or something.
It's a very grim. It's a very Christopher Nolan-esque.
Yeah.
Just serious. But
wow.
I guess I just gotta ask you this, David.
A musical or a play at intermission. That's interesting.
No, right? I mean, like,
what
I mean, like, what more of Jimmy Buffett do you need?
That's true. It's like if you went and saw Jimmy Buffett live and like he played Margaritaville right in the middle, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what was we here for. So okay, we'll even beat the traffic.
it was a pretty bold move, I'd say. I'd be like, wow, you better, you probably, you better be loading some hits in the back
Yeah.
here. I guess this is I know that you gave me the upfront about what you were doing. I just get
Right.
like I was just genuinely curious as to why you chose Mamma Mia. Why did
Yeah.
you choose this, and why did you choose a high school production of it?
Well, it's not all high school production. There's a lot, but I put it up as a poll online of Mamma Mia or Grease or High School Musical, and Mamma Mia was the overwhelming winner, like 3-1 almost over Grease.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
There's a lot of ABBA heads.
yeah. It turns out most people just hate. People are real strong in their hatred for Grease. That's what I think it was.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's like just a tired.
Yeah, I think nobody wants to see Grease anymore. I think they're over it.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
that's tough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah. These Grease is like it's the 12 days of Grease miss just works so much better than 12 days of Mamma Mia miss or 12 days of High School Musical miss.
It's also kind of funny. My high school did a production of High School Musical.
Oh, okay.
When I was when it came out when I was a senior, and
Wow.
Disney, I don't know for what, I mean, to kind of spread it, I guess, but they, for 1 year,
Right.
when that movie premiered, they just let any high school do
Oh,
it.
wow.
They
Nice.
didn't charge
Right.
like whatever you charge,
The licensing or whatever.
the
Yeah.
licensing fees or whatever. So my high school was like, whoop, we're gonna do it. And I remember being so angry just because I had been because I remember my school, my theater program,
Right.
they at the end of each year they let you present a musical that your school should do and why and
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
And every single year I wanted to do Jesus Christ Superstar. and I went to a Catholic school,
Yeah.
and
Right,
I thought
yeah.
like this be a no brainer, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ
You're a good
Superstar.
Christian boy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I thought like, once I was a senior, and like no one really did this except
Right.
maybe me and a couple other people, So I just thought,
Right.
okay, by the time I'm a senior, I'll have so much weight,
Right.
I've
Yeah.
been in the program for so long that like, yeah, let's do Jesus Christ Superstar. But then it was like the first time I've ever encountered I call it the Disney slam. You know what I'm saying? Just Disney just comes in and just wah.
Right.
And we did High School Musical. And it was it was heartbreaking.
Yeah. It is.
But
So you've never been able to be part of Jesus Christ Superstar. That's still a dream
yeah,
you're
and
chasing out in Los Angeles.
yeah, and like and I didn't want to be like Jesus Christ or Judas,
Yeah.
I wanted to be King Herod,
Oh.
because like I don't know if you ever seen the musical. King Herod
No.
has like a very he has a very like they send Jesus to Herod to
Right.
get judged or whatever, because like Herod, I guess, can sentence Jesus to whatever.
Right. I
And
think he
like,
sentenced to that. Yeah, famously that one thing.
yeah, yeah, to that one thing that happened to Jesus. But like the song starts out very like cabaret, like crooner,
Cool.
and then like once Jesus isn't getting into it or whatever, then Herod gets real mad, and he's like, why aren't you afraid of me, Jesus?
Right.
And I just thought, like, what a perfect like what a perfect like just chaos song, just kind of represent
Yeah.
like insane people. Was that one song, and I loved it, and I was like, I'd love to perform this song, but I ended up just being a math nerd in High School Musical. Wanted to know where racism lied when growing up my high school.
It's the Filipino guy with the glasses. He's got to be a math nerd.
Yeah, and I think I was the lead math nerd too. Sorry,
Boy.
I'm dying. But
Yeah, that time of year. It's also the time of year of giving, so please give to the Hawaii Food Bank.
I know for sure. I'm sorry for like railroading this day, but I don't know if
No,
you had
no, no, no,
instructions
no.
to this or if you wanted
No,
to.
I've just been talking about the same show over and over again for 5 days straight. So anything else to
Oh,
talk about?
gotcha. What I mean, like, so it was just this production that you've watched just over and over again.
No, no, no. It's different productions every night. So
Oh,
we
different
watched the movie the
production.
first night, yeah, just so that I would understand. Because I've never seen Mamma Mia at all. So I watched the movie the first time to kind of get the best idea of what this is supposed to be. Because it's real hard, like you're saying, to like understand the dialogue sometimes. You can watch a whole musical some days and not even understand what happened. You just
Yeah.
kind of hear the songs and go, okay, this is cool. So I started with the movie, and then we watched. What else did we watch? We watched the Hollywood Bowl with Corbin Bleu from High School Musical.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was a bootleg someone had recorded on like their phone, and it was really
Okay.
bad quality. People kept walking in front of it, and like a lady got up and started dancing in the middle, and it was like, okay. But yeah, so we watched that. Then I watched a French high school version, and then last night, me and Ben St. John, we watched Mamma Mia, the best performance ever, and it wasn't the best performance ever. It was unclear what theater that came from because it was like on the whole YouTube information didn't have anything about where it was from. So I don't know. But yeah, this one we know where it's from. Summit High School in New Jersey.
Summit.
Yeah.
You know, it was real funny because like when it first started, and like I was watching all these people. Like I to be honest, like I know, like I remember Sophie's name because he kept saying it,
Right.
but everybody else's I kind of just, I just remembered, like I just remembered how they looked, you know, and I thought at some point some people were sisters when they weren't. I don't think there are any sisters.
No,
in this.
no.
And it took me a while to kind of realize that these three guys might be the dads
Right.
of this
These
one
are
girl.
middle-aged men.
Yeah, I just like at first I was like, oh, are these like frat guys? Are these
Yeah.
is she in a frat party? Then that's when I had to bring the cast list up of the
Right.
actual movie.
Yeah.
And and it's funny too because I remember like I brought it up and like they had like little like clips, and
Right.
and this is what I will say: these kids are 10,000 times better, 10,000 times better at singing than like
Oh yeah.
than like than A-list celebrity actors.
Yeah.
I watched Pierce Brosnan
Yeah.
sing.
He's the worst singer in that movie.
Oh my god! I was like, I do remember when this kind of came out because that's kind of when like I think Les Mis came out.
I think so. Yeah.
Close to that, and then
2008,
like
yeah.
and like I remember like everyone hating on Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't particularly very good, and I was like, was this a trend to kind of just cast people who had like no business singing like Broadway level songs?
Yeah.
And
then not doing any kind of like auto tune or anything. It didn't feel like.
Yeah, nothing. It kind of seemed like he was dying.
Yeah.
Like he was gasping for breath, or just like he was like being forced to sing some kind of demonic just curse was put on him, where he was had to sing these songs.
And it's
like
so
that.
weird with Pierce Brosnan because he's such a handsome, smooth guy. Like you're on board with whatever he's doing until he starts singing, and you're like, oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, and I wonder if that was just some kind of spiteful, ugly person just being like, we gotta knock him down a peg.
Yeah.
Here. This extremely handsome Irish gentleman. This guy that my wife keeps yelling his name. I'd like to get back at that guy.
Yeah.
But
spiteful sound engineer.
And it's funny too because like the proximity of watching that and also having watched Black Adam recently.
Oh.
And Pierce Brosnan was in that.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, if they just took Pierce Brosnan's look in Black Adam,
right?
With that, he had like that coif and the mustache and the very like and the devil chin beard, I was like, if you look like that in Mamma Mia, then I probably would have forgiven the singing because that would be, I'd be like, this man is too dashing. I get it. He's like too handsome, they're like no one would tell him to not sing because he's so handsome. You
Yeah.
know, like that would make it make more sense to me. But um,
Oh yeah, I need to put that up on here. The
um,
screen.
I guess there's one question I got to ask you too. Then, since you've seen all these productions,
Yeah.
is like the theme, not the theme, is
Hmm.
like the designs kind of the
Yeah,
same?
I'm a man nowadays.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
He
Look,
looks,
that
he
could
looks
that
10
that
years
could.
younger than he does in without the beard.
Yeah, this one looks like he's like just bloated drunk.
Yeah. But he's having a good time. And
Yeah.
that's what
Oh
Mamma
yeah. I
Mia is all
mean,
about.
like, you know, definitely an excuse to get all these people an island vacation for
Yeah.
sure. You know, the old Adam Sandler just
Yeah.
get me and a bunch of friends in a movie that's set in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's what I was gonna ask. Is like,
Yeah.
cause like you see how these people are kind of dressed. Was it kind of the same in each production? They're all kind of like have the same. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know that
Because they're not dressed like anything really. They're just dressed like regular people, like just in jeans and dresses and stuff. Like this is just what you would wear. Every random tourist in Greece is kind of wearing this, with the
that's
sole exception of Bill, the boat owning writer guy. It's just be like a vagabond dude who, when it's Stellan Skarsgård in the movie, he's kind of like an aloha shirt, Jimmy Buffett kind of guy, right? Like chill
oh
boat
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
But then every other play rendition, he's like Indiana Jones adventurer guy with like a fedora and a vest and stuff. It's real weird. He's the only one though. Everyone else is just dressed like whatever, just wearing whatever
Not
clothes they
truly.
want. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they're all kind of dressed like people that would look at me funny if I walked into the community. You know, just to they like a raised eyebrow.
Yeah.
Like who let the peasants onto the golf course
Yeah.
here?
I think there might be a lot of subtle differences I'm not noticing between these characters because I don't have the white gaze. I'm missing things.
Well, I mean, I think the one thing that really stuck out to me was the overalls, because I do remember like because I do remember the year that this came out. It was just an easy Halloween thing to be like, I'm Meryl Streep from Mamma Mia. I'm a woman wearing overalls. I'm Meryl Streep. And I just remember that. So I'm like, so that kind of just like that just kind of hit my cortex just immediately when I saw that lady in the overalls. I was like, oh my god, yeah, I remember this. I remember that.
That's right. That's the other one costume piece that is running through all of these, the overalls, just in like a couple of scenes.
It's like an iconic thing.
Yeah.
This is how much like I invested I got into this, David, when I saw this, and because I was reading the Wikipedia page, and like I didn't even know this happened, but there was a sequel.
Oh yeah.
There's a sequel to this musical, which I don't think I don't think that ever happens, right? Like,
yeah, like a completely original sequel. Like they never made, like there wasn't a sequel to the musical, the play or whatever. This is just for the movie. People love the movie so much, I guess.
Which is
the movie's not that good.
Yeah, which is like which must have been like a harrowing task for like whatever writer they just plop this down in front of. But they're like, go ahead and take this musical that's been running for over like probably over 20 years now,
right?
Super successful. And we need a sequel for it, and we're gonna make it in 2 years. This needs to be done in 2 years. Like, Jesus,
you have to use all ABBA songs, and gotta be reusing some songs. Because I mean, Here We Go Again. That's Mamma Mia. That's the title song from the first one, and it's also in the second one.
I saw on the track list that there was some repeats. I'm assuming that they retooled them or like maybe arranged them different. Because I was spoiler alert, I read the synopsis. And, it does the old jump back in time, but also visits the present
story. Yeah.
So like it's a little bit of like a sequel, but mostly rooted in the origins. If you ever watched the original Mamma Mia and you were like, I wonder exactly what happened when Meryl Streep was a younger woman.
Yeah, and she banged 3 guys in the same week.
right? Like, and that's such like like a bored housewives just
Yeah,
tangent because I don't think because like you're like, oh yeah, this girl banged 3 guys.
yeah,
One of them might be the dad. You're like, okay, I get it. But then someone's like, but how did it happen?
yeah,
Like I guess there's some people that are into that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
I'm sure there's
you
plenty
know,
of fan fiction about it, so someone just had to
you,
put it on screen.
like I stopped because like before when these things would happen when they would make these like obvious
Mm.
cash grab things,
Yeah,
I always just had this thought like, oh, like there's money to be made, right? But who's really interested, But
right.
like now I understand because there are so many spin-offs of Batman that don't have Batman in it.
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay, there's an audience that likes the thing surrounding the actually only interesting thing
yeah.
in this franchise, like I like as soon as I saw there's like a series for Alfred, Batman's butler, and
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
think it's like
yeah.
in his fourth or
Heard of
fifth
that.
season. I was just like, okay, I guess,
Yeah.
ooh, how like who am I to dictate the fandom and where it goes,
Right. Yeah. People like it, then they'll watch it, and then they got to make it. Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, so it was something I learned the first night when I watched the movie. Our guest was Dan Connell, who's a
Oh,
big fan of musicals and things and movies, and he'd seen Mamma Mia, the first movie, a couple of times, but the sequel, Here We Go Again, he said he's seen 13 times, I think, because he loves it so much. And he recognized that the picture I grabbed for our background. This is actually from the sequel. This isn't from the
that's from
first
the
movie.
sequel.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could tell me that's a J.C. Penney ad, and I would believe you.
Yeah, it's an Old Navy ad.
This is wild. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they look exactly the same.
It's all the same people. They're
Yeah, it's all the
dancing,
same.
How am I supposed to know? I didn't know.
Yeah, that's that is, hey, that is a keen and true fan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're able to discern a picture like a
Yeah.
screenshot from a tonally very similar movie, then good on you, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
So he gets
but
the prize there.
I think kind of like harkening back in my high school years
Oh yeah.
and whatever, and being in musical productions and things like this. I just remember there's like I never got to do it, because I was never like a leading man. But like I remember different instances in the show where like people would kiss,
Oh yeah.
and just like looking back on it now, and just like thinking about being an adult person, or like the director of this is an adult, and directing like teenagers and
Yeah.
kissing,
Right.
which I guess like I remember like when we would do it, they would have to have a closed set first. It was like a very like we got to make sure that they're comfortable first, which I think would be I don't know, like kissing in any sense where it's public and not
Right.
private is always going to be a little anxiety ridden.
Oh yeah.
So in my head I'm like, is it worse to kiss in front of like just one adult person directing you or like in front of all of your friends watching you,
Right.
So
Yeah.
like,
It's a lot more intimate when it's it's just there's one adult who's like, I'm just gonna make you guys comfortable. Let me light some candles or whatever. Are you comfortable? A guy just keeps asking you if you're comfortable.
are you comfortable? It's like red flag city, you know what I'm saying? That's why like, I'm just like, in my head I was like, Jesus Christ Superstar didn't have one kiss in it. I guess like if you're Jesus, you'd have to take off your shirt, and I guess if you're self-conscious about that, but
Yeah.
Quid pro quo, I say.
Right. But then you as you get closer to 40, you realize that if you're in high school, you shouldn't be ashamed of your body at all, because it only gets worse.
Yeah.
So much
no,
worse.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And you're in high school, take your shirt off all the time and show off whatever you got, because that's it's the best
No,
it's gonna
for
be.
No, for sure. If I could be like a future Spectre to my younger self, I would go back to my 8th grade
Right.
self and be like, enjoy this. This is the skinniest you'll ever be. I'm pretty sure my 8th grade self was like, nah, I'm gonna stay in sports and run. And
Yeah.
like, no, you're not. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad out here.
Mhm.
Trust me, I'm
Yeah, it's
you.
not even counting all the beer that's gonna just make it. Yeah.
Yeah. If I could go back in time and be like, listen, younger self, you don't understand how much better beer tastes than the constant rejection you're gonna face. Enjoy life now. Do it. At some point, they're gonna invent something where you can't even talk to someone in public to try and go on a date.
Right.
You're gonna be judged relentlessly on a picture on
Right.
on your phone.
Right.
And everyone will never pick you. And they're gonna be like, that's harsh. I'm like, it's the truth though. It's the truth, boy.
Yeah. But time travel is for us to go back and warn yourself.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that scene in Billy Madison when he grabs that fat kid by his cheeks and just tells him to stay here, stay as long as you can, and he's just shaking his head and he's giggling.
It is that thing that we always laugh at.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes up in any kind of media, like the old enjoy while it lasts, and we're like, oh, what a good hearty laugh, but like how dark and true that sentiment is about, because it's like there's never like a U-turn where things just seemingly get better for you,
Yeah.
Like even if you were to get yourself in shape, it's like there'll be something else, it's just like, oh, if I'm finally in shape, well, here's kidney stones, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Bring it back down to earth. All that progress you made just swept under your feet.
Yeah.
I feel like this has turned into a cry for help.
Yeah. So we're just walking slowly in our midlife crisis. It's the end of the year. And it's time to do that. Yeah, my brother, younger brother than me. He's what, 35 right now? He just got shingles. Someone called me to tell me to get shingles shot. Everybody get your shingles shot. Yeah, chickenpox as a child.
Hey, you didn't get a shingle shot again?
Yeah, I don't think I ever got one.
Oh, you never got one?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a normal thing to get? Maybe I do have one. I should check my records.
I don't know. I feel like that's like something that's brought up, like, when you're like, get your kids like the immunizations.
Right.
Is it one of them shingles or?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't. I do my best not to get the government put whatchamacallits in my body.
Yeah. The
vaccines. I don't even know what they're called because I keep them separate.
I feel like the vernacular is the jabs. The jabs. The jabs, like from a professional boxer.
Yeah.
That's what they equate getting stuck with a needle as a jab.
Yeah, it's real quick, in and out.
But I've always just assumed that any shot where like the thing sounds made up,
right,
is like a kid shot, like shingles, like chicken pox,
right.
like measles, smallpox.
It's not some kind of Latin word that you don't know what it is.
Yeah, and I understand what I understand why you get them.
Yeah.
It's funny, like I talk about this stuff and I'm coughing and hacking up along. Yeah. I'm the picture of health here. I should turn that into a musical. It's just me as my older self, just yelling at my child self. Like my child self has all like the big numbers and the actual musical parts,
right?
And the adult version is just like shaking him and crying the entire time. There's no semblance of any kind of through line or whatever. It's just things are bad.
I think on some level that's what all art is somebody just trying to tell their younger self to fucking not do something, sending a message to their younger self.
No, that's true. That's true. And like, as soon as it happens and you're like, this is my experience, it's like, then it's a timepiece. You know what I'm saying? This is a musical about me in my early 20s, and you're like 60, and that's when it becomes popular, is when you're decades removed from your from your prime.
Yeah. It's when everybody wants to give you a claim now that it doesn't matter. So you just need shingle shots.
People are gonna watch this and be like, "How did they get to this from this high school production of Mamma Mia?"
Yeah.
Sorry, just random tangents.
Yeah.
The guy, the kid who played Pierce Brosnan,
Right. Yeah.
Bill, I think is his name. Bill.
It's Sam.
Sam.
Yeah. It took me a couple tries to figure out what the names of the grown men are. I still don't know the names of the Donna and the Dynamos. I don't know her two adult
Over
friends.
to, yeah. I just remember there's the taller one and the shorter one.
Yeah. Also, it's very funny that the taller one is the tallest girl I think in their school, and they made her wear high heels the whole time just to really hammer it home.
Accentuate the.
Yeah.
I'm just she's an adult.
Yeah.
She's this gigantus is clearly in her 40s, I guess, or 40s or 50s, or
40s or 50s. It's unclear.
But I will say, like, I think that's what I was going to give credit to. There's a kid who played Sam,
right?
Who was very good. I would say he's probably the most passable looking adult.
Yeah,
because like I remember like seeing him, and then being automatically being like, oh, that's the guy that she's gonna fall in love with. I looked at these two other guys and I was like, these guys look like this guy's son. like these other kids look, these other two guys look like 20 years younger than this guy. And I also do like how they like he's pretty much expendable or whatever. You can just replace him with like a tree trunk. The love interest for Sophie.
Yeah.
Like I think he's got like one song.
Right.
And then he gets like mad once at the end and it doesn't matter.
Right. So I'm getting married anyways.
Which I feel like he had the most valid argument too.
Yeah.
Where he was like, wait, you brought me to this crazy island in the middle of nowhere because you wanted to find out who your dad was? Like,
yeah.
I kind of wanted to dive into his life, like what did this guy do? You know what I'm saying? Like, because he definitely like reverberated like can you swear on this podcast? Have I sweared already? I probably have. But like he reverberated this very like fuck boy.
Yeah.
Kind of like
right. He's 20 years old. All 20-year-olds are fuck boys.
Yeah, they're and I was like there was I didn't watch the movie, but I was like there's there's like no chemistry here between these two. These two could pretty much be siblings at this point for all I care. But I remember that one point where he's like making this stand and she's like being like, but I need to know, and I guess you're supposed to side with her because like we're all about crazy plans.
Right.
But I remember he was just like, I remember there's a line where he says, I would have done this on the mainland in front of like a couple witnesses, and I was like, oh my God, like this guy is probably like a bellboy or something, or like a bike messenger or whatever.
I wonder how they met, because she seems like she has to stay on this island and work at the hotel all the time, her whole life. So where's she meeting? American dudes? I don't know.
Well, I feel like you spend a semester away.
That's true.
You're just a girl from an island. You see any kind of square jawed hunk, and you're like, well, I don't got a lot of time. I need to find my dad's, I guess.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is and like what a thing to kind of hold in for that long too, to kind of be like, I know my mom who just like in her drunken stupor always talks about these three guys that might be my dad. Right. Just to kind of, I just imagine just being a child witnessing that.
Right.
Like your mom's like regret or whatever, and you're like planning in your head. And I guess this is like a thing that people always say, like women do, right? Is like they plan their marriages.
Oh yeah.
But, but she's just like planning her marriage, but also concocting a way to find out who her real dad is.
Yeah, well, it's the thing where like women will talk about how they have sex dreams sometimes, and like they can never see the guy's face. It's just like a hunky body with no face. So I think maybe when she has her wedding dreams, it's a similar thing of like who's walking her down the aisle. She doesn't know. It's just a big masculine, fatherly energy, but no face. Doesn't know who it is.
No face, just a just a grizzled old man.
Yeah.
That's it's not even like a sexual thing either. It's like
Yeah.
just a giving away thing has to be perfect. You
Yeah.
know, I've yet to encounter or have this experience. I mean, and you're married,
Right.
so
We had a very
you know,
small wedding. We had the kind of almost the kind of wedding that that Sky, the husband, would have wanted. And it
yeah,
was just on the beach with just immediate family. So it was like six
just a
people there.
few witnesses,
Yeah.
which is also like like subtext there. There's a weird like I only like a few witnesses here,
I want to
just
keep
a
the
few.
number of witnesses to a minimum. Is usually
Yeah,
a red flag for anything.
one of my fears is too many witnesses.
Yeah.
Too many witnesses at this wedding watching me getting married.
Yeah. No loose ends. I
Um,
don't like having loose ends after my wedding.
no, yeah, that is true, but no, yeah, it is fascinating. It's just I don't know. Like to be honest, I watched most of it
Mm.
um, a couple days ago, maybe like
Okay.
an hour and 30
Right.
minutes. And I think I think I stopped like in the middle of the wedding, which was like a weird
Okay.
place to stop.
Yeah.
Because when I finished it, it was
Like
literally
climax of the
just
movie.
yeah, like yeah. Because when I finished, it was literally just like there wasn't much left. There was
Right.
like oh, they resolved it, and then they go into the whole like the cast introductions,
Right.
and then they
The
do the
full
whole Mamma
credits they have
Mia.
at the end of this. It's longer than
Yeah,
the movie credits.
yeah. Which I was just like, because when I said the 2 hour running time, I was like,
Right.
oh, okay, like this is gonna run, you know, all the way through. But like no, it really stops like at an hour and 40 minutes, and there's like a 20-minute cast,
Yeah.
just
Which
exuberation
is
of just
normally my favorite part of watching Mamma Mia happens there after the curtain call when they just do like 3 Mamma Mia songs and just dance and sing. Like that's what I want out of a musical. And most of the other versions, there's not a lot of dancing. Like there's a couple of dance numbers and that's it. But like this one, they really put as many people on stage dancing as they can most of the time. Because I think
yeah.
that's part of that whole budget thing. Yeah, that's why this is my favorite version I've seen so far.
Oh, nice.
The
Yeah.
musical with the most dancing.
Yeah. It was real charming. Some of the dancing. There was like,
Yeah.
and also I thought it was kind of cool how they had the chorus kind of like pop out of the set for some of the songs.
Yeah, it's like
which
Hee-Haw
like
or something where there's
which would
looking up the
imagine was
window.
probably like hell on earth trying to choreograph that.
Oh yeah,
I can imagine the missed timings of doors swinging open and people getting pelted in the face and but I do like there was like I remember there was one part where I was just like wow that because there was like a larger gentleman in the cast.
Yeah.
And there was a one part where this girl like does like a couple like flips or whatever, and then he catches her and then like hoists her into the air and spins her.
Yeah.
Which I was just like, oh my god, if this kid's not asking this girl to the prom after the show, like you no better argument than like being like, hey, you put all your trust in me. I lifted you above my head.
Yeah.
Like
it's like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, it's like a little dirty dancing. It's funny too because like I guess like being in those kinds of things,
right?
Just kind of knowing the intertwining kind of elements too of like because they're teenagers, right? Now,
right.
I remember when I was in these plays, there were people that had like crushes on each other.
Oh yeah.
And like these, and it's impossible to avoid, and just like these like. Just like this created drama just because of like people's castings, and like the lead girl and her boyfriend is tried out too, but he wasn't good at all, so he's like extra number 3.
Yeah.
He has to like sit up on the top of the set while he watches his girlfriend smooch some kid that could be passed off as a man.
Yeah. Right. During rehearsals, they have to go into the secret room to do their practice kisses. It's outside.
The director is like, "You stay out, especially
Don't
you."
need any more witnesses.
Yeah, no, yeah, too many witnesses. That'll be the title of the musical I write. Too many witnesses, and I have nothing to do with the actual play.
So I
They'll
think
be
we
like,
need to have you show your microphone to everybody watching.
my
I've been
mic. Oh,
fascinated by it. Yeah,
look at that.
you got a
It's
good hard grip on it, but you have the little tiny hand. It's
yeah,
much
you know.
smaller than I remember your hands. I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, yeah, especially just in comparison to, especially my arm. You see how tiny my arm's gone,
Yeah,
David.
stop going to the gym.
It's something that happens to you when you agree to sell your soul in LA, is that you start to slowly wither away
Oh yeah,
if you're not producing any content. um, that's the LA demons coming to
yeah,
collect their payment.
right.
They're like, "How many TikTok videos have you made?" And you're like, "0." And they're like, now your hand withers away. Like, oh, so let that be a warning to anyone that wants to move to LA. You better know what you're doing, or
Yeah, you got to build up that portfolio.
yeah, else you'll end up with a tiny hand.
You
You
gotta find
know,
tiny little microphones to stick in it.
yeah. Ain't no tiny desk for you either. You know what I'm saying? The NPR is not going to be knocking at your door. So, but is this the last Mamma Mia production?
No. This is night 5. I got 7 more. I got a full week
Oh, you got it's a full.
left. So I watched the French one. I saw a Russian one and a Brazilian, like Portuguese one, and then a couple more high schools.
A couple more high school ones.
Yeah, and Tennessee Valley Players. That's a good one that I'm.
Oh, that'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Tennessee production.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I feel like Tennessee is
Midvale. Yeah,
what
it's
was
a musical state, right? I'm thinking of Kentucky. No, Tennessee, right? Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah.
Nashville. Yeah. I was gonna say that's a very musical place. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very. Isn't that like the city of music or something, or what do they call themselves? Or I'm pretty sure that like every city in Texas calls themselves that too. So,
Yeah.
but I've been to Nashville
Oh, cool.
actually, and there's like a main street, and like literally every bar you go to, there is live music all the time.
Cool.
Yeah, there's no jukeboxes or whatever. That's like they just have scheduled bands
Nice.
that play from open to close. So
Right.
I'm you're probably gonna you're probably gonna get blown out of your socks here.
Yeah, at least musically.
But with these Nashville kids, they're definitely, I kind of want you to watch one where there's just like just for no reason, just one adult in the cast, just one, and there's like a confusion.
Right. It's just it's the one. It's the musical theater teacher who has I have to play this part, but you guys can't fucking do it.
I remember my school when I was I wasn't there yet, my high school, but my brother was. He was in a production of Les Mis, and there was a priest at my school that was very popular, well beloved, and he played a priest in that musical. The one I think that's it was Jean Valjean, and like I don't know if there's any copies of this play or whatever. There has to be, but I do remember like when he shows up, people cheered for him. Like before he sang, and after he sang. Which, like, if you had no context as to like who this guy was, you'd think like you were watching some celebrity that just cameoed in this high school's production of Les Mis, but it's just a real popular priest.
Yeah, no, that happened. We saw Cabaret here, and like at the Manoa Valley Theater, and one of the guys that came out to play, he was the like there's the I don't know if you've seen Cabaret, but there's an older Jewish couple in the play. And so when the guy came out, people started cheering real loud. We're like, who is this guy? And it's this little old man. And we're like, oh, it's got to be some like theater teacher from like a high school or something, right? Because I usually get their students to like cheer for him and stuff. That's seen that before. But we looked it up afterwards, and he was he's a local golf instructor, and I guess that was his golf students that were cheering for him.
And Cabaret,
Yeah.
Did he make any golf puns? Just like
He should have. Then
on
we
the
would have known
low,
what he was famous for. So
just like,
look, when I was looking at the list of all the different ones that I'm doing, um, I see that Summit High School from the New Jersey one that I watched. That's not the one that I sent you the link for. I sent you the link for the Teen Summer M2 Black Cast. That's not the one I watched. We've been talking about two separate versions
oh,
of
yeah.
Mia, and it's fine. I don't think it hasn't affected the conversation
you
very much.
you want to know how much I don't trust myself here?
Yeah,
Is that when you were like, this is the first one where like the leads were not blonde,
right.
you know? Like in my head, I was like, I think these girls were blonde, but I must be wrong.
Yeah,
David's seen it.
I got a different definition of blonde.
That's true. That's true. But in my head, I was just like, I started questioning myself. I was like, were those girls blonde or what? Am I just losing? I'm just losing. I just saw.
Yeah,
Do you see the chat right now?
yeah.
We've been we've
No!
been we've been talking too much about blonde girls. The internet has caught on to us.
Yeah,
They're
YouTube.
just like, hey, what a great name for that site too, 69 triple X,
That site.
which is which would be great if they ever came out with 69 triple X movies starring Vin Diesel. That would be. That's how they would start naming them,
Yeah, have to. Put the number
especially
at
if it was
the
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
He'd be like, one of the numbers came before the title. I'm a genius. But yeah, so like yeah, I think those girls were definitely blonde.
Right.
It's funny too because you're like, there's a lot of dancing. I was like, yeah, there was a lot of dancing, but I'm curious as to like um the dancing in your production, how
Right.
because like, not being a dance snob on my end,
Right.
but I think it was pretty, like there were some pretty intricate parts, but like it definitely felt like high school level of theater
Okay.
theater
Right.
dancing.
Well, I
There
think it's a
was a
lot.
part.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, there was a part where the guys had a song, and there was a part
Yeah.
where they were dancing in flippers.
Oh, they brought the flippers in. Good, because they did. That's something they did in the movie, and I think a lot of ones have adopted it since then. But some of the
Oh,
other ones
nice,
don't have the flippers, so that's good.
nice. Like
This one did. The New Jersey one did not.
oh, gotcha. They're like, guy with these flippers.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna have
don't need
real
no
dancing to do.
flippers. Ain't no flippers in Jersey. There's a random side note, like when I did High School Musical,
Yeah.
there's a lot of basketball
Hmm.
in it, and there's a song specifically where the guys are practicing basketball,
Right.
and I remember my teacher wanted there to be like a very like a very like choreographed, stylized basketball routine.
Right.
And so she actually had the basketball team come and try to
Yeah,
train.
that's good. Right.
Yeah, and try to train these some of my friends on how to dribble the basketball and do in between the legs and things like
Oh,
that.
not have the basketball
And
players do it, but teach you guys. This is like Armageddon.
yeah, well, it was funny because all that really ended up happening was
Right.
my buddies just learned how to like just bounce the ball straight down and back up into their to their hands and hand the balls off to each other because they weren't coordinated enough to
Yeah.
like pass the ball to each
Right.
other. They had to
Throw it accurately and catch it accurately.
yeah, which was the
Yeah.
funniest thing too. And I remember too, like they wanted to use our high school's jerseys for yeah, and the high school basketball, the management, they were like, we're not
Right.
going to give you any of our current jerseys, so we have one. Like here's ones that you can use, and they
Right.
were from like the 70s. They were
Ooh.
not. They were very old, and they were super tight and small. So I just remember these things were just choking the shit out of these guys, and like especially the shorts were just kind of like,
Oh
you
yeah, the
know,
70 shorts.
yeah, for like if you're any kind of self-conscious about anything. Those shorts did not do you any
Yeah.
favors. If
There's nothing hiding. It doesn't hide anything.
you know, I mean, we were in high school at the time, so it's a caveat on top of that. If you,
Yeah.
you know,
The early mid 2000s, it's like Jinko jeans time, not short shorts. Big old jeans.
and the only thing I could say about that was, you know, Jesus Christ Superstar, everyone wore robes and
Yeah.
loose-fitting clothing. You know what I'm saying? So,
You can make those out of sheets. It's really easy. It's cheaper and
yeah,
comfortable.
no, truly, truly. It's great to know that the only people that have been listening to us, David, are porno sites.
Yeah.
Just porno robot sites.
Yeah. We said, yeah, it was the word blonde girls too many times when they showed up.
No, right? You know, and I'm starting to just mentally put these little tags in my mind of people back home who are like, "Oh, we miss you. We love to see you and talk to you." And I'll be like, "Well, I'm going to be doing this thing on the internet. If you want to get your like, you know, your an hour of Yabes exposure, you know," and they're just like, maybe next time.
There's always going to be a next time, right?
Yeah, and now I know in my head I'm like, this is you know, I cast the lure, but you didn't bite.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like a telltale game, David. I'll remember the things that you say to me, and it will reflect future decisions.
Yeah, well, it's tough. It's this time of year, especially like the weekend right before Christmas. There's a lot of like Christmas parties and stuff that are happening. So it's like last night, tonight, are tough nights to get people to stay home and watch stuff. When we started doing the online streaming stuff during the pandemic or the lockdowns and things, it was a lot easier. Everyone was stuck at home and you couldn't go outside and hang out with friends. You had to watch your internet friends. Going more back to normal. So I have to figure out how to convince people to go back inside. We need another super disease.
You know,
inside.
Don't put it past us, man. If there's anything this world has shown, is that we will choose the worst option every single time. So, you know, if there was a glacier of ice out in the middle of the Arctic, and then scientists were like, "There's a disease that will wipe us off the face of the earth if we decide to whatever to this thing, we'd shoot it with missiles." You know what I'm saying? And then someone will convince us it was the right decision to do, and we'll blame each other. But you know, but then at least we'll be in lockdown again, and we could have Zoom comedy shows again.
Yeah.
You know,
really worked for some of us.
It did.
Yeah,
it did. Lockdown was extremely helpful for me.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah, I think I lived my best life during lockdown. You know, to be honest, I used to as a joke I used to tell, and I don't like I hate doing this when I'm running bits on my friends, but like literally it's like it was the truth, because like I was getting unemployment,
right?
You know, and I was stacking bills, you know, and I had a lot of time, so I exercised and I lost a lot of weight.
Nice.
You know,
yeah,
and it was just a glorious time. I got into a relationship when I wasn't in lockdown. I was literally the exact opposite of normal Yabes,
right?
just out in the public cosmos now, you know. And I feel like as soon as the lockdown lifted and I had to be reintroduced into society, I just 180'd back into whatever version of Yabes this is. I don't even know where this falls into the spectrum of people's tolerance sometimes. But you know,
different world now, man.
Yeah, I'll show up to your shows with a tiny hand.
Funny, I like the tiny hand.
Thank you. It's like it's like my you know, when someone is too afraid to talk, so they'll just wear something crazy to kind of show up their personality. This is what I got. This was a drunken purchase, because I just thought it'd be hysterical if I had a tiny mic, because I was like, there has to be a tiny mic and a tiny hand that I could, and you know, we live in a world where all variables at some point become true. So
Yeah. Put an infinite number of monkeys on the internet, and they will make an infinite number of things you can buy.
no, yeah, truly,
Yeah.
truly.
I'm glad you had the idea, and then you searched for it and found it. So that's pretty cool. You didn't just randomly see it. And you brought it into existence just through thought, sheer
Yeah,
will.
it's like
sheer will.
it's like encouraging and like discouraging at the same time, because you're like you think you have a brilliant idea,
Right.
but then you realize that like it exists on Amazon already,
Yeah.
and you're not the first person to have come up with it. So
Yeah. Someone's already mass producing it in China somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah, I had the same thing happen to me this week. I was like, "Oh, is there ASMR for Christians? I think that would be a funny thing." And yeah, there's a ton of videos on YouTube for Christian ASMR. So
like
can't
just
make that.
praying and
Yeah,
or is it just
praying.
like people putting their hands together in prayer, or the actual sounds of hands?
Yeah, sounds of hands, sounds of someone rubbing their fingernails on a pew.
Just like when they put the cracker in their mouth and it makes a little crumbling sound.
Yeah, or whispering to you about God and tapping on a Bible. I didn't really listen to too many of them. I didn't want to get all trained up.
There wasn't like a confessional one where you're just eavesdropping on people's dark, dirty secrets.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be one of those, but I think that's less targeted at Christians and more people who want to hear smutty stuff.
And it's I remember when I was in grade school, we'd have to go to confession every week.
Wow.
And so you'd have to say something to a priest every week. and I just remember like after a while I just started saying the same thing, and I just noticed that no one was getting mad about it, and so I just started doing that. And like the funny thing was, like, I just every week I would tell the same priest, because he was the only priest that did it. I guess like when you're in the lower rung of priests, that's like your like the equivalent of like cleaning out the bathrooms or whatever. Right. But every week I would tell him that I pushed my sister down the stairs. That was the thing I would admit, and it wasn't even true. So I guess that itself was a sin, because that was a lie. But I was like, I'm gonna keep saying this because I was a kid. Like how much things can you be doing? Right. So like every week, like I pushed. If you put two in, and I'm pretty sure you put two and two together, and he was like, all right, this kid isn't really.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, the first time you hear it, you're really surprised, and you still have to do like the priestly thing of like forgiving you or whatever. But then the second and third time, you're like, okay, this is obviously not true.
Yeah, just imagine a priest being like told, like, I pushed my sister down the stairs. I'm a serial domestic abuser.
Yeah, she doesn't have time to heal. I'm just pushing her wheelchair down the stairs.
Yeah, now it's just my pastime. I don't even do it out of anger anymore.
Yeah, she doesn't feel it. She's been paralyzed since the 15th time I threw her down the stairs. I've never gone to confession. Like, what's the realest thing you ever had to say? You ever felt like you needed to tell your priest? Did you ever take it seriously, or was it always just like a chore?
Oh man, you know what? Like, it's hard to kind of tell, because I think once I wasn't required to do it, I just didn't. I stopped.
Right.
But like there was definitely a time period in my life where I was much more serious about being Catholic. So I'm pretty sure there's like at some point in my conjecture, I probably was like felt really bad about something and confessed it. I mean, nowadays I could probably just wipe the floor with the priest and then being like, Jesus Christ, But I just it's the paranoid part of my brain where I'm just like, I know this man says he's a man of God, but like he's also just a vault of like deep, dark, these awful, heinous secrets, and who's psychoanalyzing these priests that are just hearing these awful things every single day. So I was like, I don't want to put that into that possibility, So,
yeah, I mean, but I think after you tell him a few times that you've been pushing your sister down the stairs and he's not ratting on you, then say, oh, I can trust this priest with my crimes, because he's not gonna rat on me.
The priest is a gangster.
Yeah.
No,
he's no snitch. Yeah.
That priest is dropping a fire album next week. It's gangsta rap.
Oh, okay. So we're over an hour now, and I do have we have to leave a little early tonight, so I have to go to the symphony with my wife.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so we have to
that's
start wrapping
awesome.
up soon. I did want to say because we haven't gotten to talk in a long time, so I wanted to let you know that in the new year we are going to be doing Monday night streams instead of Marvel movies like we were doing before. We're going through a 508 episode Simpsons bracket
Oh okay.
to find out which episode of The Simpsons is the best one from the first like 23 seasons or something. It's going to take us 10 years if we do one matchup a week.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know if you were a Simpsons guy or not, but I definitely would like to keep.
Yeah, man. I would definitely be down. You know,
Okay.
like, I mean, I'm not a hardcore. Like you know, maybe just living here in Los Angeles that has deadened my soul. But like,
Right.
I've really, you know, like I'll enjoy things, but I don't really hold anything sacred anymore, just because to kind of leave that little gap, just in case, you know, someone from that whatever turns out to be a monster.
Right.
You know, like, I can easily just push away from it and drift into space. You know, like, So, but yeah, I was a, you know, like, and I think it's like really, you know, it's a very trendy thing to be like, oh, it's an early Simpsons guy. You know, it's only the half of the first season was good. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Once they stopped being all squiggly, it went all downhill.
Yeah. You know, but like, I like the early stuff. You know, like I'll tune in every now and then in the new stuff. Like some of those definitely hit. You know, like I feel like every show, you know, your ups and downs, and you know, you just gotta, you know, it's. I feel like it's a blanket lazy thing to be like, all of it's bad. You know, like how people are with SNL. Like, it sucks now. You're like, no, it's always sucked and been good its entire lifespan. You know, like you have hitters, and then you have you know, then you have Steven Seagal episodes. So, so you know, But
I was worried you were. What I want to find is somebody our age who's does comedy, but wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons as a kid. You know, there were those kids. Because
yeah.
Like, how do you build a sense of humor when you're not allowed to watch The Simpsons? I don't know how that works. And they have to be our age because if they're younger, then they grew up in a world where The Simpsons influenced everything. And if they're older, then they didn't encounter The Simpsons until they already were developed as a person.
You know, you'd be surprised how many comedians were sheltered. You know? I mean, like the only reason they are comedians, you know, like
that's definitely something weird that happened in their childhood, and that's probably what it was, not being able to watch The Simpsons.
Yeah, because they didn't get enough Simpsons. They didn't become they weren't normalized.
Yeah,
a bunch of weirdos who didn't get any of the references that we were making. You know, they thought Cowabunga was a spell from hell or something. Yeah. But you know, they're out there. You know, honestly.
I want to make a documentary about those people. How does that work? So I don't understand it.
Just the people who. Well, I feel like you have those people who were forbidden to watch it.
Right.
But I think even like more interesting would be the people who like actively chose not to participate.
Yeah, they watched it once and were like, I don't like this, and then somehow it grew up to be funny. You're like, what's going on? How does that happen?
How did you develop? I just became counterculture right away. It was I was sitting there alongside Bill Burr. You know.
Great.
But, you know, you'll probably find them.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely out there. I just need to make the effort to record interviews with them and make a thesis about this. Just need to figure out what's going on.
You drive up to the North Shore and, you know, a bunch of Mormons up there, right? Pretty sure a lot of them aren't allowed to watch stuff. You just can't get enraptured by them, David. You can't be taken in by the ideals of. Unless that's your thing, you know, I'm not going to stop you from exploring what could, you know, possibly.
You hear about what the Mormon, all the stereotypes about Mormonism, and it's like, well, which one of these things is like a plus? And I guess like the poly, like that's like the one thing that if you're into that, then that's good. But then everything else seems like it's bad, like not fun. It seems like Mormons make a lot of money, I think. That's I don't know how that
Yeah,
happened.
I feel like that's an inherited thing. You know, the whole like
Uh,
their grandparents were sitting just on a pile of gold, and that just inflated somehow.
yeah,
And it's funny too, because like you're definitely right about like because like you think about the polyamorous thing, right? And you think
right.
about yourself,
Yeah,
right? You're like, I'm a good guy, you know, like if I had multiple wives, I'd probably be good to them, right? But then
right.
like you see most cases of polyamory are not good.
Yeah,
And you're like, would that turn me into an evil person if I just had multiple wives for some reason? Like
yeah.
at some point I just become like this like this unheinous force of just maliciousness and uh it's kind of like people who get very 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 rich, you know. It's a you know, I feel like it's like the classic Dave Chappelle thing where I feel like he became the thing that he feared.
Ah,
Right? Controversial topic. That's a tangent. I feel like that would definitely get a different type of bot into the chat into the chat.
yeah.
But
Yeah, it's almost too good, too much of a good thing kind of things that ruins.
yeah, you know, I mean, like you're married, monogamous man.
Yeah,
I'm assuming I'm not,
yeah.
you know, and like, you know, and I've been in relationships, monogamous relationships, and you know, it is like for the most part, one person is definitely enough.
Yeah.
For the most, you know,
Yeah, I
like
can't imagine having to spend that much time and effort on another person.
yeah, you know, and kind of feeling like someone's bound to get left out, you know, or
Yeah.
feel, you know, but like when it's just a two-way road or two-way or one-way or two-way or
So,
two-way
two-way. Yeah.
going
Yeah.
back and forth. Yeah, two-way,
Yeah.
two-way.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just like concocted an intricate highway system in my mind between two people and overthought it.
Yeah.
But
It's one way. It's like a circle. I'm just getting you go
yeah,
in one
just,
direction.
that's all you need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes yourself is all you need.
It's true.
Some,
Wait for a long
you know, yeah. Sometimes yourself is the only person you can really bear.
time.
don't want
True.
to introduce like chaos into another person's household. So, we're just like pining for a, you know, I don't know, turning this into a Dr. Phil episode.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But we're gonna wrap up, and we're gonna write out on the that Billy Madison scene I talked about earlier. We're gonna write out on tonight. John, do you have anything else? Thank you so much for doing this.
oh no, thanks for having me, David.
Yeah.
I know it's been a minute, and there's like like things got too hectic, and I wasn't
Okay.
able to. I left you dry. I'm sorry about that, but I'm glad I was able to do this because
Yeah.
this is truly fascinating.
Right. It's a
Like
fun thing
I
to be
don't
part of.
like I know we don't have enough time, but like just if there was a way to kind of describe to you just like myself in the first 10 minutes of watching this thing that you sent me, just being like, oh, like the thoughts that were going through my head were like, is this David punishing me or is this
I'm mad at you.
no? But I will say this: we are both that little boy behind this kid.
Yeah. We all have inside of us.
Yeah,
But yeah. And tomorrow I'm gonna watch that one that I did send you so I can talk about it, and I'll figure out what it is we're talking about. All this nonsense about.
gotcha.
Let's get this started.
Gee, I can't wait till I go to high school.
Don't you say that. Don't you ever say that. Stay here. Stay as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish it.
Jennifer, why don't you try reading out loud for a minute, okay?
Cherish
All right. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow for
Yeah.
the